Hello guys, welcome back to the nest. I'm only kidding. Hello guys, welcome back to the nest. I hope you're all keeping well. Sorry that this video's been delayed. I've been busy doing a show all week, so I have, with college and everything, obviously college comes first. But I'm glad to be back to it, doing my videos again. I remember at the end of the last video I said I was going to be doing a very big movie. Well, this is probably one of the best films I've reacted to on this channel so far, and the movie I'm going to be talking about tonight is The Godfather. That's correct, The Godfather, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. I gotta say, this is one of the best movies I've seen so far. It's the dialogue in it is just so smooth, and I just love the suspense and the creepiness and everything. Just the way it. If you haven't watched it, it's about gangsters. I gotta say, from the looks of it, this seems like to be the first one I've seen with like a proper Hollywood cast. If you know what I mean, as for as early as, this movie was released in 1972, but as early as that, big Hollywood cast. For those of you who don't know what's about, it's basically about gangsters, a family of gangsters. The man in charge is a guy called Vito Corleone, and I believe he's an immigrant from Sicily, yes, from Sicily, which is like an island just off the coast of Italy, and basically his nearly his whole family is involved in it. But it starts off with him getting requests from from people for help, especially whenever his daughter is getting married. You interrupt me on the day of my daughter's wedding. That I cannot do. You never ask me for my help. I just love how he's just so laid back, and he's despite being so laid back, he's a very charismatic and well thinking man. For those of you who don't know, he's played by Marlon Brando. Don't know if you remember, Marlon Brando was Guy Masterson in Guys and Dolls that we've done on this channel back in 1955. I did hear that his channel went into his channel, what? Actors don't have YouTube, well, some actors have YouTube channels, but anyway, his career went into decline, for a while, but, he managed to come back with this movie, and, I do know that some of the movies I'm going to be reacting to in this channel later on, the next few months, he's going to be in them, and, it ignited the career of Francis Ford Coppola and, many of the others in this movie. But yeah, it turns out that Vito has he's got 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter. The oldest is called Sonny, who's played by a guy called James Caan. It turns out Sonny's like the hothead of the group, like gangsters. They have if the police all looking at the license plates of all the cars of the guests, and they don't get a break. Sonny just comes out, hey, it's my sister's wedding, and then wham, the camera just breaks. Yeah, Sonny, he doesn't seem like a guy I'd want to mess with. James Caan really, gotta say I really like Sonny, so I do. And then he's got his second son's called Fredo. I don't know if I really respect Fredo enough. He just wants to put all his business affairs in front of his family, so he does. He's too much of a card. And then his favourite son, his youngest son, is Michael, who is an absolute outsider. Like, he doesn't want to get involved in the world of crime, and his father's happy enough with that. He's a former Marine, and he's brought his girlfriend Kay, who's played by a woman named Diane Keaton, to visit his family. I forgot to say, apparently this guy's a well-known actor who plays Michael, Al Pacino. This is what started his career. I think this was also the breakthrough role for James Caan, who plays Sonny. But yeah, and also they have an unofficial adopted son named Tom Hagen, who when they were kids, Sonny found him on the streets of New York, and he took him in, and he's just been family ever since. And his only daughter Connie, who is getting married to a man named Carlo, and this is where the film starts. I gotta say, Vito, I do love his family. He carries out his plans well. I gave him enough for he couldn't refuse. His godson wants to be in a movie, but the guy won't cut him in. Like, he just will not let him be in this movie, even though it's his absolute dream. So he sends Tom Hagen to have a word with the guy Jack, I think that's what his name is. But he ends up casting him in the movie because he wakes up in the morning, and it turns out that his prize horse, Tom Hagen, has cut off his prize race horse's head off and placed it at the bottom of his bed, and blood is just everywhere. See, to be honest, guys, I wouldn't want to get involved in the world of crime. Yeah, I never will. You know what I mean? What I mean is, I never want to be a gangster. You never know who's going to stab you in the back. This movie, it's set in New York in 1945. It starts off in 1945. I do know it goes year by year, over the course of 10 years, I think. Because I do know Michael ends up having kids. They're toddlers and everything. I'll get to that in a wee minute, but I'm going to use my phone here just in case I forget any of the notes I've taken on this. But yeah, there's nothing worse when someone asks you for favours on your daughter's wedding day, and what I mean is that he ends up giving him a part in the movie. I will admit, I thought he was going to cut his leg off or something, but if you're asleep, you're going to feel someone cutting your leg off, so he probably just went silently into the stable and just painlessly killed a horse and took its head off, and apparently they actually got a real horse's head for that movie. But the Corleone family has so many rivals. Everyone in New York wants to be like the biggest mobster family in the entire city. But someone's trying to ask Vito to be part of the narcotics, but he doesn't want to take part in it because of the political affairs. But his bodyguard Luca Brasi tries to have a talk with him, but I wasn't expecting this. Knife into the hand, and turns out the guy who played Luca Brasi actually did work for a mafia family or something. I forget the name of them, but he was a wrestler first, and then he was a bodyguard for like a family in the mafia, but then he just became an actor. I don't know. I guess some people can be forgiven. But on Christmas, Vito ends up getting shot, and then they kidnapped Tom Hagen. All he wanted is a truce. Big mistake, dickhead. I mean, you're not going to get a truce after you're trying to kill like a powerful Don. And Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. I gotta say, I thought they were gonna put like his head or something in the package, because that's just how the mafia rolls. But no, they just send the fish. Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. Vito's turns out to be made of strong stuff. 5 shots in his back and he manages to survive. But Michael actually gets sent over to look after his dad. Make sure no one tries to kill him. But unfortunately, this is whenever his life hits its turning point. Like, he's never wanted to get involved with the gangsters, and this is the time where he gets brought into the world of crime. So he does. Like, whenever Sonny and Tom and Clemenza decide to talk with the corrupt police officer McCluskey and Saluzzo, Michael pretends to be interested. Big mistake. But because they won't expect him, they decide to send Michael over to have the talk, and they're gonna kill him inside the restaurant with a gun planted. And they carry out the plan very carefully, and surprisingly, Michael actually carries out the plan. He kills Saluzzo in the head and McCluskey as well. It just turns out that McCluskey was just on a payroll from one of the families. He's corrupt. You're meant to stay by the law. I wonder if I actually wonder why a lot of the families in this movie, like the police, don't arrest them, because they're gangsters, and they're horrible people, the mafia, from what I've heard. But Michael carries out the execution well. They were going to call Sonny. He was the acting head, but he's too much of a hot head. Don't lose the famous temper of yours, Sonny. But then Michael just ends up fleeing to Sicily, where he actually manages to marry a beautiful woman. Now, I feel sorry for Kay, because she's been waiting for Michael for a long time, and he finds someone else, but he does genuinely love her, because he wants to try and keep Kay out of out of his family affairs as well. But nobody wants to get involved in all that. But even though Sonny does have a quick temper, I will say I do like him because he does genuinely care for his family, and he only loses his temper on like people who are willing to fight back. He won't. It turns out he won't fight anyone who's weak or anything. But where was I going with here? But yeah, I actually don't know whether you can actually pick favourites. In your family, like Vito has Michael as his favourite, but he loves all his kids. Like he loves Sonny, and I love his relationship with Tom, even though it's not his biological son. You know, I will say, even though they are gangsters, they do seem like good people. I don't know why Vito, got into this. I do know there are sequels. Maybe it'll show a wee bit of a backstory to why he became a crime boss, if you know what I mean. But I will say, that was a big shock for me when he get ambushed. And we need a friend like Clemenza, because he's very involved with the family. He looks out for them, and it's your opportunity to call peace with both families. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm going on my phone, but I'm trying to find out where I'm going here. But yeah, I generally thought at the beginning Carlo was a good man, but you know what? He's not. He abuses Connie. Like as soon as Sonny sees Connie with a black eye, it's over for him. He actually, like, you see how quick tempered Sonny actually is whenever he beats the hell out of Carlo, and he bites his hand. He near kills him, but like I said, Sonny doesn't seem to want to take on weak people, but he just looks at him and he's like, "Touch my sister again, I'll kill you." And he also gets pissed off, if someone tells Connie to shut up or whatever. It seems like the whole family's very protective of Connie, But I don't know how much Connie wants to get involved. I do know Michael is the biggest outsider of the whole family, but I don't know whether Connie's involved or not. I know that she's the youngest, but I don't know whether she is properly involved with the whole gangster situation. But things go from bad to worse. It turns out the main antagonist of the movie, Don Barzini, he gets in touch with Carlo and tells him to lure Sonny into a trap, since he's the acting head of the family. So he abuses Connie again with a belt. Connie rings up Sonny. He goes up to a toll booth, to get to the house as quickly as possible, but he ends up getting shot and murdered. I gotta say, I was so gutted that Sonny got killed, because I really loved his character. I just loved his get out of here. I just loved his famous temper, as they put it. And of course the whole family's devastated, especially Vito. He's just recovered from being shot, and he's not as strong as he used to be. He can't really be a don of a family anymore. And he just looks at Sonny. He's like, "Look how they massacred my boy." And he doesn't want war anymore. He just wants peace, and he decides to call a meeting for it with Barzini. My God. And they go too far whenever they plant a bomb in Michael's car for him, but then his wife gets blown up instead. And I think that's just whenever Michael just decides, you know what, I'm just going to be a gangster full time. I've left the Marines. And then, he meets Kay again. At least he's got Kay whenever he returns. How long you been here, Michael? I've been waiting for you. A year, Kay. You should have told her at least. But by the I think it's the 1950s, because I think it takes over the course of 10 years. It starts in 1945 and I think it ends in 1955. Michael and Kay marry and they've got children, and Michael is going to be the godfather to Connie's son. Like I said, that they do generally seem like good people, and I did feel sorry for whenever Michael gets placed as the Don. Tom Higgins no longer I forget the name of it. I don't know gangster language, but because he's got such a strong relationship with the family, but he's no longer held in that position. And then Vito dies of a heart attack while he's playing with his grandson. But he's finally at peace. You know, it seems like he's had a great career as you know, a crime boss, and he did warn Michael that whoever informs him of a meeting with Barzini is the traitor, and of course Tessio is the traitor. Come on, Tom. For all time's sake, I don't think so, mate. You made your bed, dickhead. Now sleep in it. I really wish how they showed how he got dealt with. Like, I do know Tessio got killed in the end, but they don't show like how he gets killed. And on the day of the christening, you know, Michael, he when he's baptizing his godson, Barzini and Mo Green, who works with Fredo, he gets killed while having a massage. You know, at least he died during a peaceful time, during a relaxing time. You know, actually, no, it wouldn't be relaxing if he woke up and, you know, there was gangsters with a gun waiting for him. But I like how Barzini really gets what he deserves. You know, he got in touch with Carlo to organise Sonny's murder, and, you know, finally Michael has the meeting with him, and he says, you know, you won't be killed, like, you're the father of my sister's kids, you know, you'll be spared. But you answer only for Santino. It was Barzini. And of course, I like how Carlo gets what he deserves, but the thing I don't understand is, why is Connie so upset that, you know, Michael organised his assassination after she got abused by him daily? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, and UK hears this, and she's like, is it true? This is the only time I'll let you ask me about my affairs, Kay. Is it true, Michael? No. And she's relieved, but I don't know if she knows he's telling the truth or not, because in the end, you know, Michael becomes the full-time Don, and ironically enough, even though Vito was disappointed they actually became involved in his business, Michael turns out to be the best leader for them. Sonny was too much of a hothead, Fredo's a coward who won't do anything for his family, and Michael turns out to be the greatest leader. Ironically, even though he was a family outsider, he's become the best leader out of them all, and he's become Don Corleone. And I gotta say, that was such a great ending, you guys. Like, the Corleone family has become the biggest, most successful crime family in all of New York City. And you know, I just love the way the mafia was portrayed during this time. You know, from the 1940s to the mid 1950s. You know, and I just love the cast in it, guys. You know, I just love Marlon Brando's performance. You know, he's just so level-headed, and no more war. You're masculine, my boy. I'm gonna give you an offer you can't refuse. And of course, I probably love Sonny out of all the kids. You know, I know Michael is he's not as quick tempered. He's quite laid back as well, but you know, Sonny is just so. I just love his character. I just love the hothead sometimes, because they're just so unpredictable. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, guys. It's one of the best movies I've reacted to so far. It's not the longest movie I've done, but it was near 3 hours long. But I just managed to sit through the whole thing at night, and you know, I woke up fresh the next morning for my rehearsals. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll have to say there's only one more movie of 1972 I'm gonna do. I don't know when the reaction's gonna be out. I don't know when I'm gonna watch the movie. Maybe Wednesday night, but we'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah. Like I've said, I'm sorry that 1972 is so short, but it just didn't seem like that big of a year for movies. I know we've had the Poseidon Adventure and the Godfather. The Godfather was definitely the biggest movie of the year, but you know, don't know if I had many ideas back then. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Godfather, you guys. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Don't know what it's going to be. Like, comment what you would like to see next. Subscribe, turn on your notifications. That means all notifications, so you know when a video is going to come in or I'm going to post on the community tab on the channel. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Don't interrupt me on my daughter's wedding day. Thank you for watching, guys. Love you all to death.